Do you take Dexter Morgan to be your husband? Rita said yes, and now you guys are going to say yes to taking Fog Entertainment through this season 3 finale review. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. And yes, it is time for the final episode, the finale here of Dexter, the season 3 ending, and in my opinion it was a little bit disappointing, especially compared to the finales of both season 1 and season 2, although I think that is consistent with how season 3 went, to be fair. People say that season 1 and season 2 of Dexter are some of the best television seasons that you can get, and season 3 I think did take a notable decline in my opinion. You remove Miguel Prado and it wouldn't have been that great, but you know what, we actually see Miguel Prado in the season 3 finale, albeit in a dead sense. He's already dead, his corpse is just laying in the middle of the park. It gets called in, Dexter has framed the death on the Skinner. I mean, it makes sense. Dexter frames it on the Skinner, he gets away with it, and there's nobody on his tail over the high profile death, and now Dexter can focus on taking the Skinner down. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Absolutely. Miguel Prado, talking about if we take him out, I couldn't imagine this season if we took Miguel Prado out of it. I mean, Jimmy Smith's a great actor, but come on, what would have happened if you took him out? Honestly, I think you're looking at this season being like, what, maybe like a 7 out of 10, maybe like a 4? But then if you take him out, you have to rewrite so much, don't you? But then maybe you can put George King over. But George King's weird. It's like, you're supposed to hype up George King, and it's like, I feel like him and the Dexter storyline just got rushed this episode.
Without Miguel Prado, George King probably is a better villain. He probably gets a lot more time dedicated to him, but I think because Miguel Prado was involved, it was like the Skinner, who's supposed to be the main antagonist, takes a back seat. So
he does, but I mean, come on, they teamed up at the end of episode 10. No excuse for them not to utilise that in the remaining 2 episodes.
Yeah, so the end of episode 10, we get the reveal that George King and Miguel Prado are working together. Miguel Prado sets George King onto Dexter like a rabid dog, yet basically the whole episode 11, King does not interact with Dexter, and the first half of this finale, the man that's following Dexter, the man after Dexter, the man that Dexter has to worry about is actually Miguel's brother. So Ramon. So
there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Most of them are dead now, thanks to Dexter.
Right.
But yeah, no, I just think they could have did more with this, and it feels like the Skinner literally was just rushed in at the end of this episode so you could have the final little confrontation with Dexter. It's weird because this is his first and only time seeing Dexter. Alright, well, maybe he's seen Dexter, but this is the first time Dexter's seen him.
I get it, right? Dexter's a serial killer. This guy's a bit of a serial killer. Dexter's the main guy. This guy was the main antagonist in a way this season. I don't think you should force it. I think it should happen naturally. I think if this guy just gets arrested, that could have just been fine. I don't think...
Possibly, yes. I mean, I don't know. Look, I get it. I mean, it makes sense. Dexter managed to kill Miguel, and he put that death on the Skinner, George King, but I just think with the time invested in Miguel, that Miguel should have made it to the finale, and that Miguel should have been the final kill of the season, and not George King. George King just didn't feel like the big final boss here for Dexter in season 3. That felt like Miguel. But I get it, in order to frame King for Miguel's death, then you need Miguel to die first. But in an ideal world, I think that Miguel should have been the last person that we see Dexter kill. But I mean, whatever. Miguel's dead, he plants his body, he blames it on King. Everyone now is after King. Ramon, he blames Dexter, though he seems to think the Prado life went to shit as soon as they met Dexter Morgan, and that's not really far from the truth, because as soon as the Prados found Dexter, things did go pretty bad for them.
They did go pretty bad for them. Ramon lost his job, everything went pear-shaped for Miguel, and I guess already at that point Oscar was dead. But I mean, I get Ramon's pain here. I do feel it. And, that scene when Dexter went in, he's like, can I have extra pickles? And Ramon was getting pissed. No wonder he was falling out with him.
Yeah, so we do see Ramon. He finally comes at Dexter with a gun. He gets taken down, he gets arrested with Batista, Quinn, Debra there. Dexter goes to visit him inside, and basically, instead of putting down this wounded animal, which is Dexter's style, he tries to help Ramon. He tries to give him some wordy advice, tries to tell him that he can come back for this, and that he doesn't want... He brings up his kids and his family, brings up the fact that he can be better, he can do it for them, and doesn't really feel like Dexter's style, but who knows, maybe he actually genuinely feels bad about killing this guy's two brothers, I don't know.
I think he does, and I actually liked this conversation between Ramon and Dexter. It was weird, I didn't see it coming, I almost felt... But then, I almost feel like it's too much if he kills another one. So who's
The
next?
hat trick.
Who's next on the Prada list? Is he going to wipe out their wives and kids?
The little Prado nephew there, SA. So, yeah, Dexter does that. He then gets abducted by George King. George King ties him up. George King's going to kill him. Dexter manages to pull himself over and he ends up breaking his wrist on purpose. It was funny though seeing Dexter tied up because normally it's his victims that are in that situation, but now we see Dexter in a vulnerable position on his back. Although Dexter uses like plastic wrapping, and maybe you can see here why you should use plastic wrapping. Maybe Dexter's just like one step ahead of George King.
Yeah.
Had Dexter been wrapped in plastic here, he would probably ended up dead.
He probably would have ended up dead, but here, plot purposes, we can't kill off Dexter Morgan. But again, everything about this scene felt forced. It's like, even their interaction, it went like 100 miles an hour. It went for Dexter waking up to, I'm a killer like you, George. Then he goes through all his methods within like 10 seconds. Then the police sirens are going. George King doesn't know where to look. Him and Dexter get into a bit of a square go.
Yeah, so
Dexter snaps his neck, fucks him off the balcony, and then one of the cops run him over.
Yeah, so we get the cops are here, Debra's here, they're closing in on the factory, and Dexter then, like I said, he breaks his wrist, then manages to like snap the neck of George King and then like throws him off and onto the oncoming police car. It's like, Dexter just seems a little bit OP here.
Yeah, it felt very overpowered. He did cut himself, so will that blood come back to bite him? I'm not too sure. Debra also got her detective shield not too long ago in this episode, but yeah, it just felt very rushed. And I just don't see what was the need to rush it. It's not like this season's been, balls to the wall. I think if you could rewrite this, maybe Dexter and Miguel and George King, you could they were on a rooftop at the end of episode 10. I just think there's a bit... Was it episode 10 or episode 9?
10, yep, episode 10.
Episode 10, yeah, I just think there's a better way to writing that. To include it. Like, I think George King should have went after Dexter last episode. And you're right, I think the whole Miguel thing should have came to a head this episode. But here, there's a few questions, like, what about Ramon? Well, what's next for him? It looks like he's just going to do a bit of jail time, and that's at the end, like, for the Prada family. And then Dexter just gets married, and... I don't know, it just feels a bit flat, doesn't it?
Yeah, you get your happy ending here, and I mean, it kind of feels like it feels like all three finales have been happy endings, kind of, almost, in a way.
No, I would agree with that, but again, I think the problem is, it's like, he just killed Miguel, and it's like, I'm not expecting Miguel to get any comeuppance, but it's like, I don't know, it just felt really weird, and like...
You'd like were a little bit pissed that Miguel was getting like this hero sort of...
they're naming a freeway after him. Fucking... Lagar makes it all about her. Oh, I have to think about him every day, Dexter. Wind your neck in, man, you're a fucking... You know what I mean? You run a police department, detective. I need to think about him every day. Well, what about all the other shit that's happened to you? Reel it in.
Yeah, plus there's no proof here that Miguel actually killed Ellen Wolf, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it,
But
really.
he is dead, so how are you mourning?
Yeah, so, Miguel's dead, Dexter gets married, George King is dead, everyone else in the station is alive, that's pretty much it. You get a happy ending here. Wasn't great, honestly. I mean, it was disappointing. I kind of felt, though, Season 3, Miguel stole the show, so when the finale's not got Miguel in it, then... I mean, he was in it in a sense that he was dead, and his death did carry over, and it had an effect on other characters, but it's not the same as having Miguel Prado up and about, walking, talking, like only he can do. So, Jimmy Smits, congratulations to you. I think you made Season 3 very watchable. I think you were the best character in it, and definitely could he be the best character of the season? Could he top Dexter 100%? Not many times I think you would say that, but I think Miguel Prado could be the one.
It's just the problem though, George King was secondary all season, so to save him for the finale, I don't agree with it. I mean, I look at other TV shows and it's like, would the main plot point wrap up like a couple of episodes early and then you just move to the secondary one for the finale. I can't really think of an example that's done that, to be fair. So anyway, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
I'll get a 6. I mean, it was all right, but it was all right. That's the problem with it. It's all right. It's not really that great when it's a season finale. Kind of expecting more than all right. Yeah, unfortunately, that's it. I don't think season 3 had any standout episodes. I think it had a lot of standout moments, but in terms of overall great episodes, I do think season 3 kind of lacked that. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, Miguel Prado, Dexter, a great duo for this season. But outside of that friendship, I mean, I think season 3 definitely lacked. And if you compare George King to the ice truck killer, then I mean, holy crap! I even prefer Lila over George King, even though she wasn't really a killer as much. But
Yeah, but based off what I'm hearing and what you know, season 3 doesn't even seem to be that bad compared to some of the other seasons, which makes me worry for the rest of this show. I'm not saying it was awful, but if this is better than like 3 other seasons, I think you've got a problem. Would you? Is it halfway? Is it
it's the fourth best season.
That's a problem in my eyes.
Although
Humongous problem.
people would rate it lower.
People would rate it lower.
I'd say it's the worst season so far.
Oh, hands down.
I mean, it's the
It's
worst.
probably like a 6.5 out of 10.
1 and 2 were great. Season 3 was good, but yeah, I mean, good, but without Miguel, it was pretty, pretty bland, pretty damn average. Anyway, guys, that's it. 5.5 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Looking forward to season 4. Most people will say season 4 is the best season of Dexter, hands down. We'll find out if it is or not. We'll tell you on this channel. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll catch you in the next one.
Georgie King!